Every year in my city, after the rainy season, the yellow grass turns green. The annual vanishing and reappearing of this green grass sparked an idea in my head for an art project. For the first part of this project, I had to learn how to make paper from the grass. For the second part, I'm going to have to learn how to print onto it. I started by cutting the grass into small pieces. Then I began adding the grass into a mixture of water and washing soda and let it simmer. As the grass began to heat up, it strangely smelled a lot like matcha green tea. Once the grass reached a certain point of softness in the hot water, it was taken out and beaten into a rough pulp. I then blended the grass into a finer pulp. I then boiled some okra, which would be used as a formation aid in the paper making. The water turns into a slime, which will help the fibers disperse evenly when making the paper. This was my first time making paper, and if you know anything about paper making, you know you need a mold and a decal. But this portion here is only the decal, and I did not have a mold. But it did seem to work just fine. It started to get dark, so I waited until morning to start another session of paper making. Now, I'm not sure if this is standard, but after some trial and error, I came up with a method in which I dipped my screen more than once to help me get a thicker sheet of paper. I used a sponge to help soak up the excess water and to press the sheets into canvas and wool felts. Here they are after a day of drying, and all that's left to do is to carefully pull them from the canvas sheets. They have a stringy but oddly soft texture, kind of like paper money, and most of them came out in this pear green color. For the next part of this project, I had to figure out a printing process, and my first idea, and the one that worked, was running them through my laser printer. I did that by using reversible glue dots and sticking the paper onto a piece of 8.5 by 11 printer paper. As an interesting concept, I wanted to make the subject of the print the grass itself. So I used a photograph that I had taken of the grass before it was harvested for papermaking. This is the first print, and it came out a little dark, so I gave it a couple more goes. And what I got were some really interesting prints. Here are a few different photographs of the grass on the grass. This piece I decided to call Grass is Growing Under Our Feet. I named it that because I wanted a viewer to think about the state of the natural world around them. In this piece, you can see the past in the photograph and the present in the paper, but we can't see the future. Not yet, at least.